Calling from a 509 area code. I have an idea who this might be. I've been getting crap posted, as it were, over the course of on Twitter for like a week. And most of it's from, I think, calling from a 509 area code. Who's this?
Hey, Sam, it's from Riga.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it might be you. What's going on? There's a lot of crap posting going on from your Twitter feed. Did someone take it over or something? What's going on?
Crop posting?
Crap. It's shit posting. I want to say shit posting. I didn't want to swear.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had kind of a serious call in mind, but I'm happy to talk about Uline Gate.
All right. Let's do the serious call.
So,
first.
I mean, well, I order a Majority Report hoodie.
Uh-huh.
First of all, it's way too big, so I got to return it. And
what size did you order?
Shipping.
What size did you order?
Well, I ordered an XL. I'm a big guy. So,
the idea that you would wear an
so
XL is absurd. There's no way, and there's no universe you would ever wear an XL. But go ahead.
Well, we'll see. When this pandemic goes away, we'll meet in person, and you can size me up. But
all
anyhow,
right, don't threaten. Go ahead.
So I got to mail it back. It's no big deal. I get it back, the large this time. It's a great product, but I noticed it's shipped in a Uline bag. And Uline is a big backer of Trump, the Uline guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just weird because it's mailed priority mail. And I happen to know, as a big fan of the post office, that you can get identical bags from the post office for free. And so I don't know. It feels like you're going a little bit out of your way to stick it to the post office and support Trump. It's sort of a backdoor thing. And I just thought, everybody's been talking about it. People deserve to know where their money is going.
Right. I will look into that. We do not do the fulfillment of these things, but I'm surprised that someone would spend money when they didn't have to. For the fulfillment, we may be able to save some cash to not buy those bags. But appreciate your pointing that out, Ronald Reagan. That is, I'm glad to know that you're on the case. That's good. Anything else that you have for us?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to just say real quick, the pandemic thing is definitely like a function of incompetence of the current administration, but this is also like what the libertarians have been calling and telling you about for years now, that like the closer we can push these decisions down to the local level, the better, the more sort of freedom we will feel in our bodies and in our lives. And that's, exactly what's happened. I called in a couple of weeks ago about trying to get a test, and the governor was saying I could get one, and the president, but the Yakima County Health Administration was saying I couldn't because they're apparently the ones ultimately vested with this power. And we have no contact tracing here, like literally none. And my sister was telling me today that she was supposed to go to Hawaii with a friend, and that got canceled. And so her friend's going to Florida with a bunch of kids who work in like pizza parlors and yogurt shops like around town in Oregon. And they're going to go vacation in Florida.
Well,
it's just insane that you wouldn't have a nationalized response. So
let me also, while you raise the point, look, we know that the libertarian mantra that the right has largely felt that an individual in pursuit of their own best interests will provide the best societal outcomes. Now, we all know that unless you're wearing an N95 mask and it's well-fitting, and you get a new one, or you figure out a way of cleaning it on a regular basis, that mask wearing is not necessarily for your benefit. It's for others' benefit. And so if we were to follow the prescription of the libertarian right, we would not wear masks because it is not helpful to me as an individual because it chafes me in some way and it inhibits my freedom. And we know that also is has been contributing to the epidemic. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to take another couple of years before people start to identify as libertarians in public again, because it is a complete fallacy. And also the neo-Confederate sort of fallacy of like, we need to hyper-localize everything is also absurd. There couldn't be a more important time to have a federal government providing standards and criteria for things and funding things like testing or contact tracing. They attempted about a month and a half ago. There was an attempt by a bunch of states to like develop contact tracing systems, and then they just fell apart because they didn't have the funding for it. And right. Now we're just effed. I mean, we're just completely effed. And
have you ever been to Belize?
I have.
Yeah. So I drove across Belize a few years ago, and
I did too.
When I was planning the trip, I imagined it being like a big highway, like to Guatemala, right? And it turns out the main road across the country is like a regular street.
Yes.
With potholes, and I mean, it's a country with like real problems. Well, I was just reading in National Geographic, they posted an article yesterday. They're closed to Americans till mid-August. And then in order to go back, you've got to have proof that you've tested negative in the last 72 hours, which like, I can't even get a test that fast. And this is a country with like serious infrastructural problems, and they have a more coherent response. I mean, I don't mean to like talk trash about Belize. It's a fine place, but like, they don't have any real infrastructure and, sort of this tourist economy. And even their response is
better than
more
ours,
coherent and better than ours.
Yeah. I mean, there's examples of this all around the world. In fact, I think
right.
you'd be hard pressed. Well, no, I feel very confident in saying this. There is no country with the resources that we have that has done a worse job at this by far. We are number one in the rankings of countries that have handled this poorly. And it gets even worse if you consider our resources that we have to have responded to this. It's shocking. And I think it's indicative of like this country, this country's got real problems. I mean, and I don't mean like the physical country. I mean like the people.
It's how we
our country people are messed up.
Yeah, and it's how we determine economic priorities in this country.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
Number one, baby.